cube. Cube is 3D. So like cube cube is made up of six sides, all of which are shaped like squares, and that makes it a 3D figure. If it's a rectangular prism, there's still a 2D aspect to it. I don't know.
No, I thought rectangular prisms are 3D, but it's just all sides are not equal. Rob, you're the math teacher.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rob, can you interject here? I was an algebra bitch, huh?
Maggie is correct.
Okay.
Math. I'm so good at
what's
Just
the 3D
so you guys
version of a
know,
trapezoid, then?
anybody who's watching, I do say I'm pressing the button, and that usually means they've got maybe 8 seconds to get their ridiculous out before we start playing. And
No, that's when the ridiculous is supposed to come out. That's the cue.
The stinger
Which
is
is all
7 seconds. I
intentional.
timed it.
It is
I
7
know.
seconds.
Yes,
but
it
there's
is
like
7
a little bit of a
seconds. I
delay
recognize that.
from
Yeah.
I recognize this
Yeah,
about myself,
regardless.
and it's not my fault that Maggie proposed a question that the Audi HD just had to latch onto.
Fair.
But I still stand by my question. What is the 3D version of a trapezoid then?
Trapezoidal prism.
Okay, I figured it was. I just wanted to make sure.
Anyway, welcome to what is apparently session 143
No,
Yep.
no,
Of
it's
Mistwalkers.
103.
Did I put 143 on there?
Yes.
It's 103, Artemis.
I was typing like really freaking fast, okay?
It's okay.
Leave
Yeah,
me
it's okay.
alone.
It's 40 episodes?
Wow, we all lost our
look.
memory. What the fuck?
It gets
I
weird
ran
when
out
you
of
get
pages
into
in my-
Obscura. It just gets
Yes.
weird.
Stop fucking
Exactly.
praying for us, Keli.
Our first sponsor for tonight is Canadian Dice. You can go to canadiandice.ca, use the code THEVECTAIR, all one word, to check out for 15% off of your order. Apparently it's Ryan's birthday tomorrow, according to the copy.
God damn it, I sent you the wrong copy. I'm sorry.
Happy birthday,
It is not
Ryan.
Ryan's
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
It was the
Ryan.
day, okay?
It's
It
his
was the day.
unbirthday. So go wish him his unbirthday. Happiest unbirthday to Ryan.
Right now.
Maggie, what's your dark dice pick of the week? I almost gave it away.
Spoilers.
I know.
Spoilers.
Almost.
Yeah, it's Dark Pact. Do you want to know why?
Why?
I was afraid you were going to say no. Because you could sign up soon for Spooktober. You could play with us all of October because we're crazy. It's our 3rd year doing Spooktober?
4th, 5th?
Or-
Third year doing Spooktober, but like our 5th or 6th year doing Extra Life.
Yeah. So, who's excited? You can sign the Dark Pact, and then you could get Dark Pact dice. You want to know what the Dark Pact is? It's going to tinyurl.com/VacPlayer and joining our Discord. That's it.
Nicely done.
Dab.
I just poured cream into my water instead of my tea.
Gross.
Gross.
Life has no meaning.
No, it doesn't.
There is no God.
Speaking of spooky, the audio that you're listening to right now behind our lovely voices is provided by Monument Studios. Their Kickstarter, Fantasy Plus, The Future of Tabletop Audio, is live on Kickstarter. They have well surpassed any expectations they had for what they're available. They are well on their way to actually making a desktop app that will allow you to control over 5,000 audio files. And that includes everything from music to Foley. So if you haven't supported them, it'd be really great if you could go and do that. I think their lowest level is like $10. And the highest is
something
like
like that.
1,000 if you want to be that bougie ass. But yeah, go support them. They're supplying all of our music. And I think we're looking to actually get them into a couple games for Spooktober. So hopefully that ends up happening.
Noah for sure, yeah.
Oh, Noah for sure. Great.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spooktober, I guess I should give you the link first. Sorry. tinyurl.com/VacPack-Fantasy Plus. That will take you directly to the Kickstarter page where you can go and support them. They've got pretty much any vibe you could need for any tabletop game you play. I've got a whole folder of just stuff for Deadlands, so be prepared. It's the time again. Spooktober is on its way. We are a month out now, officially, from starting Spooktober. October 1st, we will be kicking off our Extra Life fundraiser with a whole wackadoodle list of amazing games that are led by a lot of our volunteer and GMs running their own games. We've got a whole bunch of different systems that are going to be used, everything from D&D to Cracker Barrel Must Die. There's an independently developed game that was created by Lich over on the Liching Hour that's going to be played. So if you want to come play with us, you got to go to what was that URL, Maggie?
URL/VAC VAK player.
Nice. And you can fill out our TTRPG consent form there. We'll get you on the list to basically bother you to come play games with us. Because that's what we do. And just to keep it in mind, I know we are moving into Spooktober, but following Spooktober in December, we do have our 12 days of TTRPG, which is a continuation of the Extra Life fundraiser. So if you didn't get to DM for Spooktober, you can reach out to us and we will get you on the list for GMing in December. Just throwing it out there.
There's already a vampire game in the works because I was told that I had to.
All right.
Oh, I wonder who you could have in that game.
How about I say what you always say whenever I say stuff like that? You could have said no.
You could have.
I'm aware I could have said no. In the history of me ever being anywhere near the Vactaire, have I ever said no?
I never asked you that question.
That wasn't the question.
This wasn't the question. You circle turner.
Scheduling
Car
wise,
lesbian.
we've got 2 things going on tomorrow with some of our friends. Cedar the Barefoot is going to be over on DM Jeremy's channel at 8 o'clock for Into the Weird West, which is a Deadlands game. So if you're into basically H.P. Lovecraft meets Wild Wild West, go watch that.
And
Maggie,
of course, me playing a woman who
There is
sounds a
that
bit
too.
like this.
Maggie is going to be over on the Liching Hour for Viva La Dungeon, and that's at 9 o'clock. So if you prefer a PvP dungeon crawl, go over to them instead. Dixie's Titan returns at 8:30 on Friday. Backpacker's Guide to TPRG
Turpgy.
Turpgies.
Turpgies.
7 o'clock on Saturday. What are you discussing this week, Artemis?
We don't know yet.
Turpgies.
Good job.
We don't know. Because Emily and I are like, Emily's really tired from being at a convention all weekend, and I am out of ideas. So we don't know yet, but we'll figure it out.
Have you
I'll
done the
come and talk.
familiar or animal companions thing, like Beastmaster things that you could have, or like mounts from being a paladin? I like animals.
We
I don't
have
know.
talked about other
I'll
things.
talk to them.
But that said, if you do have any suggestions for what you would like Emily and Artemis to talk about, just throw it our way. We'll put it on the list. Because there is a list.
Like paladin is the best class in D&D.
Anything that makes Corvée mad is always fun to watch.
Yeah. So Paladins is on
So
that
what you're
list.
saying is we just need to bring Jeremy back.
Am I evil?
Yes, you are.
Aw, man.
I would more call you like chaotic neutral. And as always, you can find our podcast wherever you download your podcast from. We're there. We're a little queer. But you know that because you're
A
here.
little.
Well, I only say a little because not all of us are queer.
We want to
That's fair.
We want to be inclusive of the people who are straight but shit happens, okay, Artemis?
Or queer adjacent,
Queer adjacent,
like me.
Greek.
Sure. Anyway, where we left off last week, or the week before, I can't remember. I don't know.
Last time we played.
The last time we
Last
played.
episode. Last episode.
The walkers had made their way through Brükensheer, moving from a high aristocratic area where their lighthouse is located to lower income, industrial, commercial, pretty much the whole gamut of income, if you want to put it that way. Eventually, they did make it out into the industrial areas, and beyond that, they ended up in what looks to be wide open plains. Now, this wasn't mentioned last time, but all of you are used to seeing the edges of a domain where the mist walls rise, and you know traveling through them is where the danger really lurks. You haven't seen that here, at least not yet. You haven't seen any space thus far that would prevent you from accessing it without some sort of talisman or the risk of what you might find there. It's at this time that that thought sort of just tickles in the backs of your minds, as Razira has been the first to descend into what you've come to understand is the remains of Darkon that Brükensheer has been built over. You hadn't realized it at first, but then there were a few structures that extended beyond this sort of artificial surface. You saw the second story and roof, or half of the second story and roof of Van Richten's. A large estate that you are familiar with. You've been there. You saw the peak of the rookery in the back. It was then that you started peeking down into the sinkholes that have been spread across these large swaths of grassland. And you started seeing things like buildings, or what remains of them. You saw a flowing river. Heli, in particular, saw a spot where her past was once buried, yet it's been unearthed. You realized Revalis lay beneath these plains, which led you to assume that the rest of Darkon lays beneath Brükensheer. It was a half-mumbled comment that Brükensheer was built on the backs of the old, off something that no longer exists. But you were just there, weren't you? Tying off, Razira is the first to descend into what remains of Revalis. We ended last session with Razira actually getting boots on the underground. But she wasn't alone. This strange hissing, clicking noise was nearby. So Razira, as the first one down, you pick up your lantern off of your belt and start just kind of moving it around enough to be able to get an idea of where you are. You yourself have never been to Revalis. You don't know much about Darkon at all, other than it's falling apart. Athelstan is from there, and his daddy did something bad to escape. The buildings that you're looking around now are familiar in the sense that you've seen these sort of Eurocentric constructions. You've seen the uneven builds of large stones that have been moved into place, and then the mortar that goes in between them. Thatch roofs, that sort of style. It almost feels like you've walked into a tomb. There's a level of trying to think of the right word, but it's like it's been maintained. It hasn't dissolved. It hasn't eroded like the structures that you saw topside. And then there's that uncomfortable hissing, clicking noise that it doesn't come on what you feel like is a breath. It's just this constant state of with a hiss beneath it. Almost like a cicada or an army of cicadas. So, Zero, with all that in mind, what do you do?
Look around the area.
Okay. So you descended on what the others had called, or around where Van Richten's house was. You're not totally sure who Van Richten is, but ahead of you, you can see a 1.5-story structure that goes up basically to the ceiling of the underground, because the rest of the building is above it. And the building itself, like I said, it looks almost like it's stuck in time. There's no decay to it. Even the grass and like the landscape, it's all dead. There's no sun, so that makes sense. But it looks almost like it had been picked up and moved and then just left underneath a cloche. Nothing has affected it, nothing has changed it. Wrought iron fences surround the entire property, and you can see what looks to be a fat silo to your right, with the house directly in front of you. There's an area where you think there might have been like a vegetable garden of sorts, but like the rest of everything, it's dead. You can see what looks to be, those stick and wire and string supports that are used for larger vine-like vegetables. But there's nothing growing on them. It's just sort of like the remnants of the vines. And the air down here is humid and thick, but not hot. It's cold. It feels like you could take a bite out of it all the same. Thank you, Maggie. Who's going down next? Eli?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right, Keela, I need you to give me a move roll while Rosira figures out what they're going to do.
Okay. I got a 5 on my gilded die.
Nice. Okay. What you doing, Rosira?
He's still just looking around, trying to figure out what the hissing is.
Okay. Give me a survey roll.
That's just 1 in the gilded die.
Let me just double check your character sheet here. Come on, don't be a bitch. For you, you have 2 with 1 gilded.
Okay.
And don't forget, party, you have 2 drives in your bank that you can use. So if you want to use those, you have to call them before you roll.
I got a 4.
You got a 4? Okay. So the lantern itself only gives you about 50 feet-ish of light that obviously gets dimmer the further away it goes. You're about 30 feet away from the back of the house and another 20-ish feet away from the fat stone silo. Within that radius, you don't really see anything until the rope begins to move as Keli begins their descent. Just briefly, out of the corner of your eye, you see something skitter.
Oh, great.
Into
Giant
the
bugs.
light and then back out. Let's say
Heard
with
that
your
in Brazier's
4.
voice. Sorry.
That's okay. I'll say with your 4 on your survey, you didn't get a good look at it, and there was no like color or anything, and you are so new to color, you have no clue anyway, so it wouldn't make a difference. But if you had to compare it to something, you know that it looks a little bit like a cockroach, but about the size of an Irish hound. Irish wolfhound, just to clarify, is a big boy.
Horse dog.
Love that breath.
Yes. The legs itself are sort of that long, spindly, and the body itself is up as high as the setter, or like the Irish hound would be. And its body, again, you just got like a quick glimpse, but it's very round, like oblong.
We got giant roaches.
Keli, I'll say you hear this on your way down.
Okay.
So with your 5 on your move roll, you are able to successfully descend the rope. You end up within the lamplight, standing nearby Razira, who's going down 3rd.
Do you call that up to us on your way down when you hear it?
Yeah, I mean, I would pass that along as I'm coming down then.
Okay.
Apparently, Razira saw a giant bug.
How loud do you yell?
How far down is this hole?
It's about 12, like 20-ish feet, 25 feet, maybe. You would have been about
Probably
15
not.
feet down.
Probably not super loud.
Would we
Like, I wouldn't like shout it, but I would definitely call it up.
Would you say
Like
stage
that
whisper?
in, would you say
Mhm.
that in growing up around each other and having spoken Celestial most of their lives that Athelstan and Keli would have developed either like a note of warning, because we kind of like within our game, me and Artemis have kind of developed the culture around Aasimar, and we see it as very musical. So could it be maybe that there's like a note of warning for danger, or like a note, like a code, like in music, but like a soft note that can be heard, but because like some people can hear music better than they can hear people talking.
That's fair.
Maybe not like specific, like there's a roach down here. No. Like
do you think
No,
we
but
have
something
a
to
D100
signify danger.
nearby?
huh?
Yeah, I do.
D100?
Yeah, I got it right here.
All right.
Whether or not they
Athelstan,
think of
high
it.
or low?
I will go low this time.
Okay. What'd you roll, Keli?
94.
You don't have the wherewithal to think about that right now.
Yeah, you're a little bit distracted.
I'm a little
And-
freaked out that my stuff is missing.
There's that. There's also the disconnect from deities, gods, your actual magical essence.
Yeah, I imagine she's feeling that pretty hard.
You're not even sure if you tried to speak Celestial if you would be able to.
That was
Be
gonna
able
my
to.
next question. Can
Yeah.
you even speak Celestial anymore?
I don't know.
I know. Anyway,
Uh,
so right now it's just Atlas.
so you like hiss stage whisper up to them, Keli?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody on the surface, I need you to give me a sense roll.
And I get one of those.
Apparently, I have a sword with my hand weapon. So
Yeah.
when I get down to the bottom, can I, like, have that ready?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I rolled a 6.
I rolled
I
the
rolled a
first six.
six.
I rolled my first 6 ever. What?
You all rolled
Sorry, what are we
six?
rolling?
Sixes.
I roll. Yeah, literally. I rolled a 2 and a 6. The first dice that I rolled flew off across the desk and down into nowhere. And so I rolled
no.
another one.
Good job, everybody.
Wow. This is the best we're ever gonna roll.
It's
Yeah.
never gonna
That's
happen.
never gonna happen again.
Nope, we're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die right now.
We're
Yeah.
gonna die.
Everybody rolled a 6 for dying.
You're gonna be
Yep,
roach meat.
That's bad. 666.
Yeah.
It's the devil's number.
Okay, so I'm gonna say with that 666 across the board, you are all able to hear Eli kind of whisper up. There's like a giant
Bug.
a giant bug down here.
Oh goody.
Who's going down third?
Well, I feel like maybe Breeze is the next smallest.
Atlas
go.
specifically said last session that he wants to go last because he has a fear of climbing.
So being the last one. Okay, that makes sense. Do you want to go?
So
next,
we
or-
can break his fall
Yeah. Do you
Sure.
want to go?
with our
Go
heads.
next, or you want me to go?
I'll go next.
Be careful.
Breeze, give me a move roll.
Move is a 6.
Nice. Did anybody have a gilded die on those 6s?
It was sense. Was that last one?
Yes.
Yeah. No. But
Okay.
Nothing mattered. I didn't use drive on it. So
All right, just wanted to double check. Okay, so yeah, with your 6, you're just like, bitch, I know how to do rope work, and you do some like Cirque du Soleil tumble
Yeah.
down nonsense.
Show off.
it's a gym class
Uh,
back home.
Also, I know that you can do rope work. You've done it to me before, but you. Oh well.
That was just in your dreams and doesn't count.
No. Like they tied me to Atlas. Remember?
Oh, that's
But-
right. Yeah,
But Breeze
right.
doesn't remember that.
That's right.
So he didn't say that out loud, and he was like,
So before Breeze makes their way down, Keli and Razira, what are you doing while you wait for the rest of your group to join you?
Keeping watch at the darkness around us.
Trying to see if there's any more giant bugs.
Okay.
Where's Vincent when you need him? Remember during Mutant Crawl Classics, he'd just be like,
Oh.
home.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you
I'm
meant Happy's husband.
Why would
Yeah.
that help? He's
What?
upstairs. What do you want?
No, Vincent, Venus flytrap head guy.
Okay.
Don't
Oh,
do that.
do you
Happy's
sh-
husband has a Venus
No.
flytrap.
My bloodthirst is really high right now. I'm gonna eat these giant bugs. Home.
Okay, so Keli and Razira, give me another survey roll.
I got a 6 on a gilded die.
Nice. Have you used
Dang.
any
Oh, me
drive?
too.
Whoa. Okay.
Good.
I'm getting worried, everybody.
You haven't used any drive yet, right?
I used one on intuition, so
I
guess
did last time.
So if you used a drive and you have an open space in intuition, you can go ahead and add your drive back for that.
This can only go well.
The lantern continues to light the same sort of area, and now that you see more clearly, Keli, you can see the rookery and the back of Van Richten's house. You recognize the window that leads into the kitchen, and you can see the second story where it starts, and then that point where the roof of the Undercity starts, and the rest is above ground. There is one section that you can make out, particularly on the second floor, where it's almost like there's a light inside. But you also know that that is from the sinkhole underneath the roof, topside.
Oh, okay.
So it does have
So it's not like a glowing light. It's just like
no
ambient light.
ambient light from the surface.
Okay.
But you can see that through one of the windows. Just give me a, I guess a focus roll.
Okay. It's a 2.
Okay. It's a room on the second floor. Part of you, like, just irrationally thinks, that's probably the room that Gordon and Sly just made a mess of.
Okay.
Breeze joins you. Ending.
Yeah, I'm just like slowly turning in a circle down near the bottom of the rope, just keeping an eye out.
Okay. Breeze, once you get down there, you see everything as I've described so far. If you'd like to try and glean more information, you can give me a survey roll as well.
Sure. Why not? Oh my god, that's another 6.
Are you kidding me? I'm getting scared now.
Yeah.
I'm getting worried now.
These are 3 different dice that have rolled the 6s, but
We're gonna TPK tonight so hard.
No.
hard.
What's your contingency plan for the contingency plan, Affy?
Don't worry, I've got it.
New
How
character.
comforting. It's just it. We're gonna pop up back at the lighthouse in different looking bodies, and Maury's gonna be like, "Can you stop?" So you're running out of pieces. I've had to make up too much shit. This is
I had to, like,
you're basically
borrow-
fan fiction. You're basically fan fiction now.
It's like how IKEA made horse meatballs. They just have to put more horse into it. Which isn't a problem for Atlas.
Okay. So with your additional 6, I will add that you're very aware of this sort of cicada clicking, hissing noise that's around you. And every so often, corner of your eye, or even right in front of you, if you're not facing the house itself, you can see that movement with just in the edges of the shadows. And you can make out a little bit more detail. So they have an oblong body. And the 4 legs, not 6 or 8 or 10 or whatever, just 4, are almost 90 degrees. They jut out of their bodies and then straight down, and that's how they move. And it's like a very strange, almost mechanical shuffling. The head of the creature is this triangular, but like a softer triangle. It's not hard edges or anything. And you can see these big bulbous eyes that have the fractals in them. So it's like they have a like fly eyes, but
Okay.
they're shaped, they're more egg-shaped.
Lenses.
Yeah. And they have 2 antennae. And by that I mean they have the ones that kind of like 2 that kind of sprout out of their heads. And then they have one in the middle that goes forward and like dangles ahead of them. Almost like a what's that fish?
Anglerfish?
An
Anglerfish.
But it doesn't have like a light or anything that you can see on the end of it. But it does have some sort of bulbous something at the end of it.
That delivers electric shocks. I know it. Or it bites you.
Or stings you.
Yeah, sting or venom. Yep.
No tail. It doesn't look like it has wings, but it's hard to tell. You're not getting a whole lot of color or detail just by where it is on the sort of outskirts of the light. But it's, you see one kind of directly to your left, and then another kind of just perpendicular to your peripheral vision And then you'll hear like another behind you, so you know there's more than one. Athelstan,
Like
give me a
Cheers
move roll.
description.
Yeah.
Head of a beaver and the ass of a moose. Very bulbous. It's a boose.
Would destroy
Yep.
your car.
Oosie.
A caboose.
A meaver? A mover. Mover. Moosever.
Moosin! Saw a flock of moosin!
Athelstan, move roll.
Yep. Oh, goody. A little worried here.
Don't forget,
'cause-
2 drives in the party sheet. You have other
Yeah, I think
drives
I'm
on your
gonna spend-
character sheet.
I think I'm gonna spend a drive. Should I? I'm gonna save the. Well, I only have 2 drives in nerve. But I have nothing in move, so I would like to spend. If everyone's okay with it, I spend a party drive.
Yep.
Yeah, go for it.
So you roll with. So with the drive, what do you do? I'm so sorry.
You basically add a dice to your dice pool because you don't have existing proficiency in move. You basically
Roll two,
take
take
away
a
the
lower.
disadvantage by using
Oh,
a
okay.
drive. And you can use as many drive as you want. So if you wanted to use like both of yours and both party, you can do that.
Nah, I want to conserve them because feel like I'm gonna have to punch something. 5.
Okay.
Yes.
You are able to make it down the rope as well. You give me a survey roll when you see get down there.
Three.
3. With a 3
I
and
think he gets low.
yeah, and with the majority of your party down there already, you are like quickly briefed of what's happening or what they've seen so far as soon as you kind of crouch down. There's nowhere really to hide. It's not like the grass is overgrown here like it is topside. It was a manicured lawn at one point. And then when it was moved here, or when the city was built over it, or when Brükensheer was built over it, it basically ceased to develop. It ceased to grow. It just died.
Based off of character memory, was that silo always there?
You know that is the rookery where the crows are, or would be.
Okay. Okay. Because I didn't like how you were describing it as a fat silo, and I'm like, I don't like that you're using adjectives to describe this silo. I feel like it's going to be something that doesn't look like it. That's not actually a silo.
The fat silo description was because Razira has never been to
Yeah, gotcha.
Rivalis. They
Gotcha.
they don't know that Van Richten has a personal rookery.
Mhm.
So
Okay. So can see that we are in basically Van Richten's front yard,
backyard.
backyard. Okay. Wrought iron fence is still intact.
Mhm.
And this place looks like it's been maintained somehow.
Not maintained, just hasn't,
hasn't
decayed.
decayed.
It hasn't changed other than the top half of the second floor is above ground.
What's the smell like?
Down here, it has that sort of underground wet smell that I'm sure most people are familiar with. It has that
Musty.
smell, musty. It's humid but cold. So the air is very wet and thick, and you can hear the river amongst the sort of hissing and clicking that continues. There is a smell of like nature decay, so like grass rot and
Yeah.
that sort
moss and
of
everything.
yeah, but it's not it doesn't smell like bodies or anything like that. It just smells like a cave.
anything I could glean off of, granted, like description of what people have said and or the limited survey roll at 3 of what these things might be, or what certain parts of their anatomy, like in particular the third antenna, might be indicative of when it comes to creature biology.
I mean, between all of the 6s that have been rolled so far for surveys, you've all kind of mentally put together like the different body parts that are familiar, but this creature itself is not. So you're familiar that it's very much like a cockroach's body, but massive in comparison. The legs themselves, those are a little bit weird. The closest facsimile you could think of would be almost like a reverse flamingo's leg without the paddled foot on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The head itself, probably more wasp-like in its shape, but doesn't have the pincers. And the forehead antenna, like the central antenna, is very much an anglerfish.
Is it like dragging on the floor or anything, or is it just like
you can't tell
them?
It's too far away to, even with the 6s, it's too far away to kind of determine if it's like dragging on the ground or being used as like a sniffer. It's difficult to tell.
It's a doodle.
Agni's not here. We got the Fallout monster.
Oh.
Atlas.
Ethelstan's like sitting there on the ground, crouched, like he's about to take a few steps to like bipedal, and he's like, he like looks so he's like this is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, you crouch down, getting ready to like, gorilla your way forward, and your pants are too uncomfortable, and your knuckles are not calloused enough.
Just like stands up, and he has to like he like turns away and just like very obviously adjusts his crotch. He's like, fuck.
So you notice that doesn't work like this, eh?
Okay, sorry, Atlas.
Atlas, give me a survey roll. You were the last one topside.
Mm-hmm.
We like give them advantage or something, being encouraging as they're coming down.
Mechanically,
we did say that
you can give them your drives or let them use the party drive.
So the rectangles, are those drives, or is the little or is the little circle in resistance a drive?
The circle in resistance is not a drive. That is your resistance. You can use that after you roll, before I determine whether or not you failed.
Mm-hmm.
Drives are the rectangles. If there is a white box in yours, you have one for that box.
No, I have 3 dice, just regular dice. How bad could it possibly be? I got a 6.
Okay. So topside.
We are so screwed.
You have the sort of like open plains, and on the way here, you were the one kind of not leading the charge exactly because Athelstan had the bleed detector, but you were the one navigating the party to ensure that they didn't fall into any of these sinkholes or stumble over ones that may not be fully opened yet, but enough weight would make them open. So as you're standing there, there's like a little bit of a wind kind of moving through the tall grass. You can see it just rush over it, move it like a little, like somebody's rubbing a hand over it, and it just kind of flows back and wobbles a little bit. You realize you're actually alone. Quest was here, and now he's not. And you don't know where he went. He's a smaller guy, so it's not...
Are you getting that 2-seater?
Yeah, is that the music doing that?
That rumble?
Ow, ooh.
Yeah, no, like the feedback, like static
It's like
feedback.
snapping.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I can't tell where it's coming from though.
I love how plugged in you are to me, Rob. Yeah. Granted,
Here, I'll
also,
change the track and
very,
see if that fixes
very
it.
clear face to see.
Is that better?
Thank you.
Okay.
For now. We'll
All
see.
right, let me know if it comes up again, because I can remove that from the playlist if it's... I didn't hear it at all. Anyway. So, Cost is a smaller guy. You would be able to hypothesize that he could crouch and disappear within the grass if he wanted to. You just don't recall him crouching or leaving the area or anything like that. He's
What
just
an
gone.
asshole.
And wind aside, that sort of empty feeling of no life begins to encroach on you. The sounds of birds and animals and bugs that you had heard almost your entire way here, it's gone now. The wind is your only companion. What would you like to do?
The bleed detector showing anywhere?
Lead detector is with Athelstan.
Yeah.
I don't know what Atlas is doing.
I have to come down.
Yes.
Oh, you still have to
I
come
rolled a
down.
6.
Okay.
You rolled a 6? Okay.
Yeah.
She's dying.
So the breeze, not that one, continues to move. And it almost begins to whip in not a cyclone, but you can definitely feel it kind of caress around one side of you and then around the back, and then it disappears off to the side. But then it comes back again and does it again. As a druid, even without your ability to access that sort of natural magic and knowledge, that's not normal. So you sort of freak yourself out a little, grab the rope, and do like a fireman drop all the way down. Just you are able to descend without issue.
They
If
do a
you had-
three-point landing.
Sure, you can do a 3-point landing if you want to.
It's like it's like the Mummy.
3-point landing. 1 foot, the other foot, the ass.
That's how I 3-point land.
Oh,
I
my
just
coccyx.
go right to ass.
Yeah.
Then again, it's big enough to be 3 points, so let's go with it.
Shut up.
Hey,
I got a big trunk.
baby back got back. Yeah.
So Atlas, as you join the rest of your group, you are also given the information that has come so far regarding the house, the rookery, and the weird insects.
I stare at them. I think internally, I wish I could talk to bugs right now.
And praise to
Externally,
Xander.
I think I wish externally I just am like, in a horse's eyes, they go like different ways.
Is
It's because they're on the sides of their head.
Yeah, that's what my eyes are doing. Just too many thoughts at once for Atlas.
And
I
as a
wonder.
human, it's terrifying to look upon.
I wonder if Diz has been here. This sounds like something he'd come up with.
Did Razir? Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
She
so
met him, and then
Razira-
she met the
tried to kill
hag. She met
Yeah.
the hag thing, and then she met the ghoul. So it's like,
He would be into this. Seems deep, dark, and creepy. He's edgy like that. He is edgelord like that. Uh-huh. Where did you learn the word edgelord? I don't know.
All right, party. What are you doing?
Crying for mommy.
Panicking slightly.
Okay.
Mommy can't come to the phone right now.
Don't say it like that. That's weird.
Apparently, Air is not happy in comments.
Donk.
So, do we see, like, are we in, like, a chamber? Or are we, like, we can see
All of Revalis?
the road from Revalis where we are?
With the amount of light you have currently, you can only see about 50 to 60 feet from around you, as well as that sort of ambient light spotlight that's coming through the second story inside the house.
Human versions of us. Who's the tallest? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Looking around, you can see there are other shafts of light from other sinkholes, but they're a fair distance away, so you can't really make out what they may be shining on, or if anything. I will say, Athelstan and Keli, you know Revalis best. So you know that Van Richten's manor is off one of the main streets, a couple of houses down from the main drag.
Mhm.
You know how you would be able to get to the main drag from here? Like, it's not an issue of being able to navigate. You just can't see it.
It's dark as fuck.
It is dark as fuck.
Speaking of dark as fuck, the lantern
Yes.
and these bugs.
Yes.
Are they moving around the periphery of the light?
Seems like it.
Who's the tallest in the party now that we're all human?
I would say it's still probably you.
It's
Or-
definitely not Razira.
It might be Atlas. You're pretty similar.
Similar with human form.
Razira, give me the lantern.
Okay.
Really had to wrench their rubber arm for that, didn't you?
And I lift physics, light physics. I lift the lantern higher to extend the circle slightly.
Okay.
It will be dim, of course, but still.
Yes, it will be dim. As you begin to raise it, or do you just kind of like jerk it right up?
No, I'm not gonna jerk it. I'm going slow. That's like our only source of light. This is not going out.
Okay. As you're raising the lantern, obviously it does get dimmer, like around your feet, and the light itself kind of ripples over the edges of the silo and the building. You can make out a little bit more of the wrought iron fence and Van Richten's neighbor to one side. Not the actual neighbor, the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
There is no,
Ah,
there's nobody on the other side of the
Haven't
fence.
seen you guys in a while.
Hi. Hey.
What you doing in town?
But it's like wrought iron, so it's more like this.
Yeah.
Not Wilson, just vertical Wilson. Everybody make me a survey roll again as the lantern is lifted.
By the way, Shaft of Light is what I call my paladin ding dong.
Well.
I said that earlier. I
Ha!
told him the joke and I wanted to say it.
Ha ha! I like that.
I rolled a 1 on Gilded, but I rolled 2 6s on the regular.
I
That's
rolled a
good.
3.
I rolled a 6 and a 4, dude.
My luck's running out, y'all.
My luck
I rolled a 4.
My luck is on the
So-
way out.
So what this tells me is when Agni's not here, all the
We
lucky
have the
souls
luck.
comes back to us.
Yes. All right, so Athstan's got a 6. Keli, what'd you get?
4.
4. Priest? Didn't hear you.
You're
Yeah.
muted.
6.
Okay, 6.
Baby.
Razira got a 6. Atlas got a 3.
Mhm. It's the anxiety.
See,
That's
In fact,
all
we're
right.
very squishy humans.
yes.
He's having
Uh,
It
performance.
sucks.
So, because it, like pretty much everybody succeeded, everybody is able to glean the same amount of information. The cockroachy Irish wolfhound anglerfish creatures, they make concerted efforts not to move into the light, even as it starts to move up. As the sort of aura of the light expands, they move further out as well. You get like what looks to be, you know what, with all those sixes, I'll add a little bit more detail. You get a glint of black feather. And every so often you see one of the legs lift and it has talons. Like a bird.
Great, the ravens turned into bugs.
We're near the rookery.
Every so often, as you're moving the lantern higher and higher, at one point you catch what looks to be a wing that kind of opens like a cockroach's, if you've ever seen them. But inside it's just big black feathers. And then they close again.
So do we go to the house and hope they can't get in?
We're looking for a rift. Everyone stay in the light.
Well, we can always check the house for the rift.
It's true. We glance at the house.
You have the
Is
bleed
the
detector.
bleed detector going like
Yeah,
berserk
yeah,
down here?
Yeah, it's on his belly. He's just like he's got it, he's like
Okay. Athelstan, give me a sense roll. You're going to try to attune a little bit more to the bleed detector.
double fours.
Double fours? I'll say, with you kind of double fisting, you can tell that the bleed detector is tracking these creatures. But there are other sources of bleed beyond them.
They're bleeding. Like capital B bleed. They're not like maybe they are. I don't know.
Thank you for clarifying because I didn't understand at first.
That's okay. Life would be so much easier if there were captions.
Yeah, if only that there were accessible places that use caption software on their streams.
That can give them extensions to such streams.
Yeah, I
What
hope
is-
it's directly
what
into the
are-
channel.
Anyways,
What are
The stream's over
captions?
there.
Why are you talking about water?
He is over there. Anyway, all right.
maybe
well,
we stay together in the
Yes.
light and keep moving.
Do we have any more light sources?
Only for a very, very short amount of time.
Okay. Does anybody have
Do I have
anything-
torches in my survival gear?
I would say you have a very rudimentary flashlight.
Okay.
It is.
Do I know how to use that?
It's like, what the fuck is this?
That's what I was going to get you to check. So
Well-
I need you.
Athelstan knew how to put on his hand when he woke up.
Yes, there is some instinctive knowledge that seems to be
Okay, but Keelight's dumb.
implanted. You said it, not me.
Just like a dad, like,
Like-
Give me. So as you like pull this out of your thing, out of your bag, it's not like anything you've seen before. You know instinctively that it will produce light. It has a very large, cubish box on the bottom of it, and there's a handle on top of the box. And off
Is
of
it
that,
the Jurassic Park flashlight?
it's basically. It's very
Yes.
heavy.
you can use it as a
And-
weapon.
It's very
I know
heavy.
they're heavy.
And the the glass itself that looks to be over some sort of like firebug butt. It has this sort of metal cage over it to protect the glass.
Me light my butt.
Okay, what do I need to roll to try and turn this stupid thing on?
You're gonna give me a. Let's go focus.
I'm using a drive.
Okay.
That's a 2. My other one was a 1.
Lovely.
I'm glad that I used a drive.
Wow.
You pick this thing up and instinctively you know if I can turn this on, whatever the hell that means, it will produce light.
Reese, come here. You're smart.
I am?
Yes.
Most of the time.
Most of the
You're smarter than me.
Actually, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure you're probably the smartest out of all of us, to be honest.
Well,
You
that's
said a
terrible.
survey
Stop
roll?
sucking up.
I'm not sucking up. I'm actually telling the truth. We're all a bunch of idiots.
That's true.
Focus roll.
A focus roll? Okay, I got nothing in that, so a negative. Which I guess doesn't matter because I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Okay, so that would be a 5. So as you're kind of like coalescing together, being like, I know this is going to turn on somehow and it's going to make light. I just don't know how to make it do. Rosira just kind of reaches over and twists this little dial. There's a and then it almost
Keli's got it like this.
it begins to sound like an orchestra starting up. Just a and the light turns on, and it is a very powerful spotlight. And as it beams forward, because I'm not going to make you blind.
It'd be funny though, just for flavor.
It would be funny.
Not just be like and you blast.
Okay,
it
I know
forward.
Keela is stupid, but she's not stupid enough to point stuff at her face.
I mean,
I would
Is she
say
Luke
you were like
Skywalker
looking at
stupid?
it, and then it started to make the zzz, and you're like, oh shit, and you kind of like pointed it out.
Yep.
So as the light comes on and it creates this very focused spotlight, you're used to bullseye lanterns. It's very
Yeah.
much like that. It gives you about 90 feet with about a 10-foot circle of light at the end of it. So you have this sort of 10-foot
There's a
spotlight.
big dinosaur eye.
pupil shrinks.
Man, how'd you figure it out? No. So you can. Which way were you facing it? Let's go with that.
I think I would have been. Well, we're like in the backyard, right?
Yeah, you're about 30-ish feet from the back of the house.
So I probably would have been like facing the back of the house because I was looking at the window at one point. So
Yeah,
I would
you were also
probably
circling.
be.
So
Yeah. I guess I would be facing the back of the house
Okay.
at the moment.
So all of a sudden you've got this like 10-foot spotlight just like on the edge of the house. You can make out every single detail of the stonework
Mhm.
and masonry within that 10-foot circle.
Anything get caught in it?
Okay.
No.
I just love how this is completely in character for Zira. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing, but she's doing something and it's working.
It works.
Looked at just like face really close. What's that guy's name in the TikToks where he just has a hammer in the auto shop and he just like and it fixes it.
No idea.
Todd, I think.
Although, as somebody who used to work on cars, the number of times that has actually worked is stupid.
Yes. That's why they have hammers in auto shops.
Yes.
Yes,
One
I
of the
know.
reasons.
I keep a ball peen hammer next to the
I mean-
computer at work.
I mean, it reminds me of the movie Ragnarok. American made, Russian made, it's all made in China.
That's fair.
Uh,
very fair.
Sourced. Yeah.
So
Okay,
you
so then I
have
take
a-
that and then
Now-
start circling.
Okay. Before you do, I'm going to
Mhm.
make you aware of this because you have it in your hand and you're looking at it and everybody's just kind of like on it. Beneath the handle where Zira had flipped the switch, there
Mhm.
is what looks to be a scale that is triangular in nature. There are about 6 sections. The one you're on right now is a very bright green.
Oh, fuck, it's a Five Nights at Freddy's bullshit.
The one at the bottom is red and very small.
So does it remind me of like candles that we would have had back home that have the string in them that show time?
Or like a font? A magical font? Or an hourglass?
Maybe a little bit closer to an hourglass, but there's no bottom.
Okay. Okay. I will just keep an eye on it then, I guess.
Okay.
That's fucking bright. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Nobody ever.
And then
looks
I
down.
start to look around now.
Okay. So moving it across the backyard, with its very focused bullseye light source, you can basically see clear across the entirety of Van Richten's property. So you're able to see when it hits the opposite fence line. It goes past the rookery. The rookery itself, again, it's in that same state of non-decay. Not touched, not maintained, but not decaying. And you go past that and you see there was like a rose garden in the back that is very much in the same state as the vegetable garden. You can see where the rose bushes were, but they're all very like just sticks essentially. No leaves, no
Does
flowers.
it seem like things are frozen in time down here?
No, not exactly.
No. Okay.
It's more like, again, it got
Sleeping.
picked up and moved and then put under glass
We're in a
preserve it.
We're in a terrarium.
But things are still going to die because there's nothing feeding it.
Okay.
There's nothing maintaining it. It's just sort of left to whatever happens, but because there's no sunlight, there's no maintenance person, there's no gardener or whatever. They're just left to rot, essentially. But there's no overgrowth or anything like that.
Okay. So as I kind of slowly circle around, I just say to Athelstan, what direction is pointing at not bugs?
You have the fucking light.
You have the little bleed detector.
I wave it around. Well, no, I don't wave it around. I very calculatedly survey, and I scan the area.
Okay. So
Spock.
it starts kind of moving, and you and Keela,
Claire.
The Wonder Twins.
You're so much older than me.
Asmar. You're sort of working in tandem of moving this sort of bullseye lantern while moving the bleed detector to kind of get an idea. You can definitely see when the bugs move out of the way of the light beam, very much in the same way of when Athelstan was raising the lantern. It pushes them out of the way almost. They're definitely avoiding it.
That's okay.
The insects.
Yeah, anything that doesn't like point at a bug. I'm trying to get a sense of direction for like something that we can just keep moving.
For sure. I'm getting there. So you're sweeping over, you pass by the rose garden. There's the docks that you're familiar with at the back of Van Richten's property. Beside that, there's like a graveyard, like a family graveyard in the back. You start circling around again, and then you're scanning over the neighbor's property that's on the side of the main drag. Go ahead.
I was wondering, as we're walking, do I see any druidic, or maybe Athelstan, do you see any thieves' camp? Because we are technically seeing remnants of a society from where we're from.
So you haven't really moved all that much. You're still in the backyard of
I
Van
also read druidic.
Richten's. Yep. Right now, I'll say that there was some thieves' camp that was carved into some of the bricks, but you're familiar with those. It doesn't show any new information.
They're old.
They're old. Yes, they are pre-existing. There's nothing new. Nothing druidic. You don't see that carved into any of the trees or anything like that. So the bullseye continues to move across the neighboring property. You know, on the other side of this property is the main drag. It kind of scans over the house. This house is only a single story, so it has about 15 feet before it would meet the roof line, or like the roof of the Undercity. Very much the same. The roof is in the same condition that you remember it ever being in. The house is the same. In the front yard, there were some tents that were set up. Those are still there. That was like a little pop-up marketplace that appeared like once a week, basically like a farmer's market type situation. Beyond that, you don't see anything. Again, the bleed kind of fades away from that. Like with the bugs, I mean. And then you find yourself pointing southeast of the Van Richten
Towards the inn.
property. Towards the inn.
Shit.
And
What's
there's
behind the inn?
Yep. I know.
4 or 5 bleeds that are detected on that.
We're actually gonna meet Wolfhead Wiley.
Do you know who I'm worried that we're gonna see? Is Esmeralda, because we don't know where she went after she turned into a creature.
She was somewhere in Barovia still, though, wasn't she?
She was in.
Oh, we're in Revalis, right? Okay.
Yeah, we're in
so
Revalis.
Yeah.
In Darkon, yeah.
No, I'm. What happens to the people when the place comes here?
Yeah. I don't know that I want to find out.
Before?
Would you say, Breeze?
Hopefully they got out before, but
If they knew
maybe they
anything was
just gestures at where we came from.
wrong.
But that's the thing, though, is that this place shouldn't exist, right? Because when we were in Darkon the last time, the mists had swallowed Revalis.
What if this is where the mists lead?
Everything has to go somewhere.
Doesn't just.
You follow the
When the
river,
domain
you reach the
dies.
ocean.
Or.
What happens when a domain dies? Nobody
Or
knows.
this place, either the graveyard of a domain, or a different place, not only space but time.
Moria mentioned that we could end up yeah, Moria mentioned that stuff came here when the first person to escaped.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're not doing any good just standing here. We should keep moving.
What's missing?
Does that mean that all the people out there are the people that disappeared from Darkon?
They don't
Maybe.
look like them. Not that I haven't
We don't
recognized
we
them.
don't
We don't look like us.
either.
I know. Well, this is a prison, she said. I don't think people who were just living their lives in Darkon would be trapped here, or they're meant to be here, or I don't know what happens to them. I don't know.
If we've learned nothing since we started our journey, it's that people get trapped all the time in places that they shouldn't be.
There's a lot more people here than I think to try to escape miss on the regular.
Oh, I'm sure. And
I start walking.
yeah, we're going. I thought we were going the whole time.
Okay. Where are you headed?
Where are we going?
Towards the inn.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, heading south from your current location, you move through Van Richten's gates onto that sort of side street.
Keep an eye on our backs, Rosira.
Doors and corners, guys. Doors and corners.
Slice the pie.
Other
Where's the pie?
euphemisms.
Jerry.
Across the way, you can see that there are still 2 residences, very similar state of non-decay. The stables that are like on the opposite side of the other dwelling for Van Richten's are still there. There is a carriage outside was again just sort of left and is sitting there.
Okay.
You head out towards the main drag, and it's very much same. All of the houses that don't breach the Undercity's ceiling are in that same sort of non-decay status. They are not preserved, but they're not worsening or anything in that nature. Everybody give me a survey roll.
Who?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Okay.
Incongruency with that survey roll. I think I'd be keeping in mind the idea of, does it seem like people have been here, like
4,
like
5.
5.
I mean,
3.
people have had to have been here because there's a building built on top, and in order to do
No.
that, you have to be here.
No, what I'm thinking, I got a 4. What I'm thinking is, when it came here, what happened to the people?
Have people been here since it came here?
Yeah, that too. Also that too. But did it happen like in the middle of dinner and there's like old food left out or something, or whatever's left of the dinner plates? Somebody was carrying something. Did they get Thanos and drop their cabbages? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm using Marvel terms for you, Affy.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Why did you have to hurt me this way?
You started it.
Because you started it.
Anyway.
It's because I love you.
So 5s and 6s. Who got a 5 and a 6? Or a 6?
I got a 5.
0.
I got a 4.
Atlas got a 6. All right. So Razira and Atlas, the environs around you are very strange because obviously this is a city or a town or a village, whatever you want to call it. And it looks, for all intents and purposes, other than the decay of sort of the flora around you, that it should be inhabited. There are, open windows, drawn curtains, open doors. You can see very much like people got Thanos'd and dropped whatever they were doing in the middle of the street. So you see like carts that are full of goods that have now essentially rotted. There's, indications of people who were in the market, like the pop-up tent market with, canvas totes buying goods, and then they just disappeared, but left their goods behind, like their bags behind.
Would you say now the spoiled goods are now all bads?
Yes. Yes, I would. The trade bads. It's not like they got raptured or anything, because there's no just random clothing lying around or anything like that. Anything that may have been carried is left behind.
What about small piles of neatly folded clothing?
Well, there is that one guy in Revalis who just decides to go
Doesn't
naked.
wear clothes.
And now it's that guy, the one that was boinking the dragon. He came over to Rivalis for a little holiday. Left his backpack somewhere.
Yeah. There's no... Whoever was here when the mists took Rivalis is no longer here and seemed to be pulled away, disintegrated, vanished in the middle of whatever they were doing when it happened. Continuing on your way, you begin following the bleed detector again across the street. You come to the pub that you're all familiar with there, except for Razira.
Right pub.
And
Well, does Breeze remember it?
Great.
Breeze, I would say you've read in the journal
Okay.
enough that you remember sitting here and meeting Mina.
Great.
Okay.
Didn't you guys start in Rivalis?
We didn't come to here. We were just in Van Rexon's house.
After
Really.
you did a whole plot hook for us exploring the tower, and then we immediately left for
Because it was scary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, without even asking for the persons we're looking for name or a description of what they look
Okay,
like.
that much I remember. I remember you guys had no details when you left, but
See,
We were
I was
told
trying,
they
I
would
was
find
trying to
us.
illustrate my character. I'm like, I'm not going to be the party face. I'm
Yep.
going to be more in the
Yep.
background.
We had the circus of traveling dumbasses.
you were level 1. It's fine.
We're still the
Nothing has
circus of
changed.
traveling dumbasses. It's 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
100 sessions later, hasn't changed. Anyways,
Not at all.
Yeah.
So looking at
Great.
the Sprite
Is that
Pub,
tonight's episode title?
nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
I'm here for
the
it.
more things change.
Anyway,
Somebody
I was
write
gonna
that
say the
down.
circus of
Nothing has
traveling
changed.
dumbasses, but that works too.
got it. Anyway,
The Sprite Pub sits very much in the same state as every other building that you've come across so far. It had always had 2 sets of doors. There was the big sort of storm doors that they closed when the pub closed for the night or if there was bad weather. And then it has the sort of half western saloon doors that allow like the breeze, not that one, to come in.
ha.
Well, allows that one to come in too.
Well, yeah, it lets that one come in too, but not all the time.
Breezes of all kinds.
They can come in anytime.
So, right now, those big sort of storm doors are open, and it's just the swingy saloon doors that are closed, if you can call it that. Everybody
Are
give
the
me a
Belko-
sense roll.
Yeah.
What were you going to ask, Athelstan?
Are the Belco doors still intact? The ones that
Everything
would, like,
is
lead
still
down.
intact.
Are they
Control.
closed or open?
Those ones are closed.
I rolled a 6 and I only had 1 die.
According to this, I have no sense. So let's see.
Don't you roll twice with
Okay.
disadvantage?
I'm rolling a lot of 2s as well, so I'm getting a little nervous.
Okay, what the hell? I
Did you
just
get a
rolled
6?
I rolled 2 6s.
Okay, this
Nice.
is weird.
I rolled 2 1s.
Balance.
Yep.
Okay.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Exactly.
Nice going, Keli.
I'm nothing if not consistent.
I got a cool light.
As you get closer to the Sprite Pub, and I'm assuming you kind of like peek inside.
Oh yeah,
hmm
absolutely.
Looking for
Everybody
evidence that people have been there recently.
4s and up.
Anything.
You smell cupcakes.
Oh no.
Oh man. Why would you do this to your own character?
Because I'm a masochist.
Out of character
Fine.
moose. I forgot her name. It starts with an M, right?
Millie.
Millie.
Millie. Yeah.
Millie. Sweet little Millie.
And her mongrel folk.
Who Razira has
You're welcome.
never met. so she doesn't get the reference.
Athelstan like reaches out and like grabs Keeli.
What?
Do you smell that?
Now
Smell
that
what?
Athelstan has pointed it out, you do kind of get that warm, pastry, sugary smell.
Millie.
Oh, that's a flashback.
I don't.
Breeze, I will say, because sense of smell is very nostalgic.
Oh no.
You remember leaving Revalis with a very large basket of goods. All homemade pastries and breads and jams and sweet things.
Which we also fed to a nasty ass little imp bastard.
You have this very faint, fuzzy memory of a wrinkled face and white hair looking up at you with a big smile as she hands this basket over to you.
Millie was a gnome?
No.
Really? Yeah.
Okay.
We got 2 gnomes killed.
Yeah. We got lots of gnomes killed.
Yeah.
Great. Now I'm imagining, is a Medusa selling garden gnomes?
Athelstan will kind of like guide Keeli's hands to point the light towards the doors.
Okay.
Look for movement or any shadows that go across the walls or anything.
Sure. How close do you all get to the building? Or are you just kind of like on the drag with the...
At the moment on the drag, but Athelstan might be keen to check it out.
Okay.
Because that's something that really hasn't changed. And feels like it shouldn't be here right now.
So from where you are, the Sprite pub is just a little bit elevated. Yes, it has the cellar, like where the fight club that you don't talk about is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's elevated in the sense that it's pretty much right on the river, or right on the lake where Wolfhead Wiley originates, or allegedly. And it's elevated, and so like any sort of, overflow doesn't flood the main floor. Pointing the light in, you can see the shadow of the saloon doors against the ceiling. You see a familiar deer antler chandelier that's in the middle of the room, hanging from the ceiling still. You see the staircase that leads up to the half floor above where Millie and the mongrel folk live. But from where you are, that's about all you see.
What was the last password at Sprite Pub that Athelstan remembers?
Give me a focus roll.
I got a gilded die in that. 4 on the gilded die.
Okay. The last password you recall is scrumptious.
Is that password for the Fight Club?
What Fight Club?
The one that we don't talk about.
We don't talk about Fight Club. You remember Fight Club?
No, this is...
Oh.
How the character moves.
Scrumptious.
Nothing
What
happens.
is?
It was the last password I remember.
We need a password to walk through the open doors?
No, it was. Well, it's gone now, so we might as well tell you it's Fight Club password downstairs. Everyone else smells that though, right?
Pointing it out, you're all able to smell the sort of sugary sweetness on the air.
Does it smell like it's fresh out of the oven, kind of like wafting, like, or is it just like a perfume almost?
It could be both, or neither.
Is it like it's not, but it's not like overpowering or anything?
No,
It exists.
it exists. It's about the same level that you're familiar with when you've come here in the past, maybe a little bit less because of the sort of stank of decay
Everything
and
else.
nature rot and the cave smell in general.
I want to go in.
I want to go around the back first, and then we can go inside.
What if she's still here?
What if it's a trap?
It's most certainly a trap.
Well, then let's check the backside first.
If it's a trap, then they'll be trapped in there with us instead of the other way around.
Let's check we'll go around.
That's very true, Atlas.
Yeah, that's very true, Atlas. That's very wise of you.
So, Keli,
Mm-hmm.
you're leading the charge. Tell me what happens.
Go around the backside of the building, and I'm looking for like signs of someone or something being in the area where I buried my rings.
You already from the surface saw that there was this open spot.
Yeah,
where you...
but like any kind of clues to what or who.
Yeah. You knew this is where you buried them. You can see that there is a divot that indicated that somebody dug and found them. Make me a survey roll.
A 5.
5? You sort of crouch down with your bullseye lantern, and it basically illuminates the fuck out of this little pit that you had dug.
Yeah.
Still had the lantern held high.
Are the stones tipped over too? Or is the cairn still there?
The cairn is there, but it's almost like it's been piled to the side. Like, not that somebody just kind of like
was moved.
Yeah, but somebody didn't just like knock it out of the way. They
Very respectful.
They put the stones to the side, dug and dug. You're like looking down into it. And again, illuminated as fuck because you got this bright ass light looking down into it.
Yes.
You can see, like, if this was a proctologist exam, you would see fucking everything.
You got hemorrhoids.
Thanks for that visual.
You're welcome.
Preparation H.
You see just a faint outline at the bottom of this little pit of where you placed everything.
2 rings and a feather.
Yeah. It's almost like a fossil, but it's live dirt. It's not compressed stone. You can make out where the feather was and where the rings were, which doesn't make sense, because if somebody was digging for them, they probably would have wrecked the feather. And that you can see the outline of something as lightweight as rings within it. It's like somebody would have had to go millimeter by millimeter instead of just digging until they found something.
The daintiest excavation.
Okay.
And there's that little pile of dirt beside the stones that made the cairn. and a shovel.
Okay. Does the shovel look familiar?
Make a focus roll.
It's a mimic.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with this information. I rolled
Fuck
a 6.
Trixie.
You rolled a 6?
Jesus.
Okay.
Now it is.
Making up for the 2 1s that I rolled.
It's Trixie. Fuck you.
Fuck that
Deal with the
bitch.
mimic as little stupid humans.
No.
The shovel is a standard shovel. You've seen shovels. You've handled shovels. You've
Shoveled.
shoveled.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're looking at like the whole tableau, you are looking at a snapshot of the moment that you sat there after placing the rings and the feather inside, said your prayer before you reburied it and built the cairn.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Nobody came here and dug it up.
So it's like an imprint of that moment, or sorry, I don't understand.
Kind of.
Oh good.
It's like you were stolen away in the moment that you pushed everything down into the dirt.
We've been here the whole time. No, that was
Welcome to Game Changer.
Thank you for getting the reference. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
We'll be back.
Oh,
I'm Affy the DM, and this is the Vactaire. If you know, you know.
I swear naturally. But if I have to think about it, I can't. I can't just work the words in. Shit fuck.
could you just like give them like a bowl of lube and we can just get it to go? I don't know at this point what to say or to do.
A bowl of lube.
They make it in flavors.
I will cast guidance on your penis. There you go. Pat pat.
What if we go find a plant, 2 plants that like you connect with, and then we don't just go pick them, but like you connect with them, you know?
We'll find a shrubbery. Make sure it's nice and not too expensive.
Me.
I like gloop to be right beside her face.
Move some real close to them
Ooh,
just in
like-
case
like this?
something happens.
What can I do to help you?
I feel like I'm on some
If
psychedelics.
you're a new DM or even maybe an
Don't
experienced
play with
DM,
us.
you're clearly witnessing DM failure here. Clearly. Engage
I try
your
to move
players.
my
Keep
piece,
them
I move the
interested
whole
in
map.
your game.
You have feelings and we're friends. You have feelings and we're friends. You have feelings and you're friends.
Don't you make this a pull door because I'll lose my fucking mind.
If I just try to open the door, does it open?
It opens out.
I mean, I'm sure you would have gotten there eventually, but
Well, I don't know why I learned this spell. So,
Flailing around like one of those inflatable tube guys.
oh no!
The wacky, flailing, flailing arm 2-man.
I don't see you wiggling, motherfuckers. Wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
I only wiggle when I want to wiggle.
I'm Jason.
Do you want to wiggle right now?
Well, I imagine duality's wiggling.
You went really deep, man. It's not supposed to be deep tissue.
Your ass was mesmerizing.
You just need to put the tip of the needle in.
Just the tip, just for a second.
I won't be able to sit for a week.
Well, I don't feel comfortable sharing some of the naughty bathroom things I know how to do with a bunch of children. But...
Why?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Ask your ghost parents.
Oh god, my husband was here for all that. You cast this spell and the sky
Go
above
watch my
begins
face
to
now.
swirl into this butthole.
They like in circles around you, like do 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 do. And he's saying this out loud too. He's making his own music that he's dancing to. Do 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 bigly, bigly. Do 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 do.
I will not soon recover from this. I will not soon recover from this. I have never wanted the death of someone more than right now. Keisha, it was a good fucking game, but I fucking hate Bree. Fucking hate her. I fucking hate her.
No, you don't. You love me.
I do. I do.
When one Warforged loves another Warforged very much.
I see you, our one true king. We stand Brendan Fraser on this channel. We don't care what time it was. We don't care what his body type is. We stand Brendan Fraser.
Do you hear that, Jeremy? Do you hear that, Jeremy?
Brendan, more like standing.
Wolf anthros are adorable.
I'm gonna say, while you guys are talking, the camera pans out to the lobby, and everybody in the lobby can see that Sheriff is talking to somebody in that office. Not sure who. They're very chatty back and forth, though. For both the Reverend and Jesse, you immediately pick up on a couple things. Not everybody in this town is particularly...
Don't feed the babies lead paint, coward.
They don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming.
Somebody.
Body.
Pants. We should go to that family and then see if we can appeal to them. Is that the word I want?
I think it's begging.
We could threaten them with knives.
Oh, okay.
Or
So we
we
have
could
many
just
options.
ask.
Good idea. Let's start them with knives. Just tell them that I murdered the entire family minus one. It'll be fine.
Might-
What will go wrong?
Nope. I once ran into a Spanish beaver. Interestingly enough, there is no such thing as a Brazilian beaver.
I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
Yeah, pretty much.
What? You sounded like you were grapefruiting your man.
I'm just gonna go now.
What's that? You need me? Okay.
Does this mean we win? Does this mean we won again?
I never want to leave here.
game changer.
Wow, so you're telling me what you
dropout.
really think of me.
Yeah, for dropout. Are we back now?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Hi, we're back.
We're looking
Hi.
at a hole in the ground.
Yes.
You are.
You are
Athelstan's
looking
like,
at a hole.
Keli is sad and has a headache.
That
Keli
tracks.
will remember this. Keli disapproves.
Okay.
So, you have investigated your... Nope, not going to say it that way.
Your hole? You've investigated your hole.
You got halfway through that sentence, realized where you were going, and went, nope.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just gotta inspect your hole. It's healthy.
It's important to your health.
Yep.
Anyway,
I'm just gonna go now.
Okay.
Bye.
Now that we're all uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not uncomfortable. I'm amused.
So you've finished investigating, and what do you do now?
I want to investigate the cupcake smell.
We go in the back door. To keep along me.
Ha!
Investigating your hole, and you head for the back door. Got it.
Yep.
I mean, Athelstan's versatile.
All right. You got to drive in the bank.
Of course he
friends.
is.
Another one.
What are we rolling?
Nope, just letting you know you got to drive from Queen in the bank.
Hell yeah! 2 drives again. Oh, hi,
I just
Queen.
look at the scene in front of me, have a moment of internal panic.
Motherfucker.
Look at Athelstan, who could probably tell that I'm internally panicking, and then
Yeah, that's why he's not looking at you. You can feel it radiating off of you.
we should go inside, I guess.
You start externally panicking.
Not yet.
There's time for that.
Athelstan pulls you to your feet and says,
The night is young.
Yeah, Athelstan pulls Keli to their feet, helps them up to their feet and says, "You don't have enough information to panic about that yet. Let's go."
Okay.
We agree, so we do it.
So you head for the back door.
Yep.
You know that this is a door that leads to a hallway. It's a short-ish hallway. Basically allows you to enter from the rear of the building. And there is the doors that lead into the kitchen on the right side. And then beyond that, there's another door that leads out into the tavern itself.
Reach into a crack in the mortar, pull out a key, unlock it.
Sure. It wasn't locked.
Put the key back.
As you open the door, that sort of wall of sugary sweet smell.
Slowly and carefully, of course.
Yeah. Sugary sweet smell wafts out at you all. And you head inside. Moving in, you first come to the door on the right that leads into the kitchen. This door is open.
What's the bleed detector doing right now?
How's your lantern battery?
Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping an eye on the gauge that was on there. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a gauge of some kind. So
you have to tell me when you're looking at it,
color,
because that is relevant.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise,
I look at it now.
It has descended 1 bar.
And it's been about how long?
About 5 minutes.
Good. That thing sucks power. We still have the lantern. Keep it on hand. Turn it off then.
Okay. I turn it off then for now.
Okay. So it sort of does what it did when it started up in reverse. It
winds down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you actually feel it kind of clunk when the light completely goes off in your hand.
Okay.
Moving to the kitchen door, Peeking inside, it is very much a tapestry again of things were in process and then they were abandoned. There is very clearly what is like a burnt sugar smell that begins to fill your nostrils, like something that was in the oven that was
Got left through there.
Or something that was on the stove, like a caramel or something that burnt because it was unattended. You can see...
There's no fire now, right?
No.
Okay.
You can see on one of the work tables there is a step stool that allows a small person of small stature to stand on it in order to work at the table. What you do see on the table is a little strange, but going from context clues and what you know generally happens here, you think it was probably a, bread or maybe a cookie batter that had been rolled out and was in the process of either being kneaded or getting ready to be cut in some fashion.
It's a starter now.
But it has basically shrunk down into like this little uneven squarish circle, kinda, yeah.
Shriveled up poop.
Like if you were to pick it up, it would either crumble or it would be hard as rock.
Weapons grade.
Yeah.
Thunk.
You can see that there is a like a milk bottle that was on the thing. There's nothing in it anymore, but you can definitely see sort of that whitish, milky tinge around it where the level had been. If you've ever had like a glass of milk and you don't drink it all at once,
yeah.
It has that like, you can
that
see
layer.
where you took sips.
The fat film, yeah.
The fat film, yeah.
For lack of better words.
There are crates where you think there was probably produce of some sort just based on the crate itself, the interior, like wooden clamshells that would have contained things like berries, things that are delicate and need to be very carefully shipped or moved. But it just looks like if it weren't for the state of decay on everything, it was like Millie was standing right here and just stepped out of the room for a second.
The smell's not coming from
And the smell that we smelled like outside and the smell that's in this kitchen, are they the same?
Yes and no. You're inside the building now, so there is more of a pungency to it, but it's not originating from here.
Nah, I'm following the scent cloud like a Looney Tune. Not like floating or anything, like...
Okay. You follow your nose, and you make your...
treasure that shows. Sorry.
You make your way out into the tap room itself. Very much the same as you would expect, like, after a night that the pub had been open. There's glassware and bottles and plates and stuff, all in sort of like varying stages of being consumed before they were abandoned. The big harvest tale in the middle is, very much where most of the eating had occurred whenever you were in there. Whenever anybody was in there, really.
Is that table in the middle set for 8?
The table in the middle is set for 8, but that's not uncommon. It's about a table that would fit 8 to 10 if you squeezed. Over in the corner, you can see there is a stool with a jacket kind of thrown over the back of it, and on the ground beside it, there's some sort of wooden instrument that almost like fell and was left there. Very much the same way as the bags in the market. The sickly sweet smell out here is much more fragrant, but it still doesn't seem like it's coming from this room. And there's no lead detection going off within this space. There are markers, but they seem to be above, below, and outside of this building.
Ethelstan, how do we get down in Fight Club?
He just like kind of like takes a step to one side to the wall, and he just goes clunk clunk, fist elbow.
Yeah, the doors
fist
swing
elbow
open.
stomp.
Sure, the doors swing open, and they have that sort of super official creak to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't been opened.
Horror house creak.
Yeah. Stereotypical. Yeah. Exactly that.
You're welcome for the Foley.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Support the Kickstarter at the thing with the stuff for more Foley. Not done by me.
I actually think that there is one of those sounds in there.
It is. I'm sure. Anyway.
So you head down the stairs?
Carefully, I guess.
Carefully, you guess?
Yeah, because, you know, stairs and also decay and also going into a dark basement.
Okay.
During a horror campaign. What could go wrong?
Now, next, you need to split up, and who's still a virgin?
Well, I don't think any of us have been actually.
Atlas is still learning. He had to talk, but like it's still processing.
And
so, I don't know about anybody else, but Athelstan has definitely sacrificed a couple of things to Mina. More than once.
Hey, Athelstan, is this the only way in and out?
No, there's a Belko door outside.
Could you show it to us as we go down into the Fight Club?
I will point out the other two exits when we get down there.
Okay.
Gotta be able to outrun the guard.
Who's going down first?
Athelstan, because they have the light.
I feel like I know it best and I have the light.
Okay.
Watch my back. Don't let any of those creepy crawly fuckers on me.
All right. So you start descending, and the light goes with you.
Wait, Keylight, turn yours back on until we're all back downstairs.
You can see for just the briefest second that there was a claw on the edge of the saloon door, pushing it open. And the second the light turned on, it snatched away, and now the saloon door is just swinging.
How about we light some
look
candles?
Like one of the weird raven cockroach thing claw?
Yeah.
Raven roach.
The hell was the name of that big fat raven that was there that we were feeding? Does anybody remember? I have it in my notes somewhere, but I don't feel like looking for it.
I have it in my jumbled folder. I loved him.
How could you hurt us like this, Affy? How could you?
Anyway. Love that for us.
I'm pretty sure that at least two of us, when we started this nonsense, told her, make it hurt. So
it had you did. Anyway, it had to be something stereotypical, like Edgar or something like that. I don't know. Humphrey, I don't know. Anyway.
I don't think I would have come up with Humphrey, but I can't think of it either. Anyway, you head downstairs, Atlas leading, Keylight bringing up the rear with your bullseye lantern, torch, Jurassic Park thing. moving down into the basement, it's much colder down here. Still has that heavy, humid feeling to it, but it's about 15 degrees colder. And Razira in particular, you're very, very cold.
For those of you at home, that was Cedar making the sound of a zipper.
There is everything here that you are familiar with, Athelstan. You can see there's like boxing dummies and tumble mats and the ring itself. There's the sort of half bar that exists down here for people who definitely don't go to Fight Club or know what it's about. On the ground, there's just this thin layer of wispy mist that kind of cools, circles around your feet and your ankles as you move around.
There's still green blood on the floor from that night.
Make a survey check.
Because if I remember correctly, Schmorglag the Orclad kicked my fucking ass. Making a survey check, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Good. 4.
4?
A lot of 4s and 2s.
There's no green, but there's definitely spots that could have maybe once upon a time been
stain,
blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It wasn't enough to really coagulate and be obvious of what it is, and your blood's weird anyway, or was.
Oh, I haven't seen my blood yet.
Nope.
It looks like it's blue underneath the skin. I don't know. Being a white man is weird.
All right, you're downstairs in the Fight Club.
No one's here. Nothing's here. What's missing?
Nothing
What's
appears.
missing that would usually be here?
People.
People.
Aside from people.
There doesn't appear to be anything out of place. It's almost like the rest of the village. Whenever whatever happened here happened, they were in the midst of doing whatever it was they were doing, and then they were gone.
What's the last fight on the board?
Last fight on the board is a Smorglag versus, and it's wiped out.
There's no cupcake smell down here?
Not really.
No?
Just sort of the lingering that you're familiar with.
All right. Nothing down here. So you're the one with Moonbeam. How about you take us back upstairs?
And the bleed detector's not leading to anything down here?
There are some indicators of bleed, but they all seem much fainter than anything else you've really come in contact with. Probably just residual bleed.
Sure, I'll just scan any objects around the room and get close to where it spikes and just see if there's anything of interest. I keep forgetting about the bleed detector. Thank you, Artemis.
The bleed detector kind of moves around the room, and you don't really get any spikes or anything. It pretty much hovers around between 10 and 15 on the reader. Mm-hmm. But there's no clear indicator of, hey, there is a bleed source right here. It's just, again, more of a residual essence. Tipping it up?
Yeah.
Tipping it up, you can see that there are a few bleed sources that are moving around the building.
Not alone.
What are we ever?
Well, our carapace corvids have entered the building, apparently. Or something.
Do we hear the floorboards move like there's something up there now?
Skittering like dog nails on the...
That wasn't really ever anything that was a thing. because of the way the building is made, there's the cellar, which is beneath the surface of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But then the building itself is built up from that.
Yeah.
Okay. To give it sort of a pocket of noise protection.
A little bit of
Yeah.
foundation and, preventing any sort of overflow from the river, from the lake.
Okay.
Sump pump. Still intact.
I
Good.
have my sword ready and I guess start cautiously leading back upstairs.
With your spotlight.
So
we could go out the balcony. We could go out one of the other exits. If you wanted to. And make our way around again, but we can go back up. Sorry. Lead the way.
You going up the stairs?
Getting paranoid.
I guess. I mean, I don't know what we're looking for, so I guess.
That's the point. Go back upstairs.
Okay. So you start heading up the stairs. Now, we've established that your bullseye torch is very small when it's up close, and then it expands to about 10 feet when it hits the nearest surface. So your scope of vision is not as large as it would be with a lantern. Another drive in the party sheet.
Yay!
As you are ascending, Athelstan, are you bringing up the rear or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Keeping an eye on our backs while going up.
Sure. So you have this sort of pinprick light source, essentially, as well as the ambient light that is covered in shadow from the party between yourself and Athelstan with the lantern. As you're moving up, you can see the stairs, the stone walls, the railing.
Knife.
Feathers. So many feathers. Directly in front of you stands a creature, like the ones described, except it is standing on its hind legs, filling up the entire space between you and the first floor. Its chittering is loud and in your ear, and then it starts to hiss. And you can hear a responding chittering and hissing from behind it. As well as above
behind
you.
It or behind us?
Behind it, as well as above you.
Lovely.
So, there is no initiative, exactly, in Candela. However, whoever has the highest move will go first.
That's Breeze. Or Atlas.
I got 2.
I got 2.
I have 2 as well.
Oh,
I have no move.
Same, buddy. Same.
All right. So, Razira and Keli, between the two of you can decide who goes first.
Does it look aggressive?
Make a reroll.
It's like when deer stand up on their hind legs and walk like a human when they got that disease.
Maybe not aggressive in the sense of it's mad at you, but definitely aggressive in the sense of it's following its natural instinct.
What are you doing in my yard?
You have a resist on the party sheet.
Got it.
I mean, I have my big flashlight, so I make sure to like shine it in its face and make sure that it can see that I have my sword.
Yeah.
And
what are you doing, Razira?
What? Trying to figure out what hand weapon she would have. I just have a hand weapon.
Guns.
You can have whatever hand weapon you want. You don't have to worry about things like proficiency or anything like that. You just have it.
Well, out of that entire thing, what Razira had, let's go with because she's so used to using her claws. Let's just go for the frickin' Shredder claws.
Wolverine, baby.
Sorry, just clarifying for chat here. So the soak, Liz, you have to apply it to somebody who is about to take damage or has taken damage. It's not a party bank situation.
Got coin. She's using it.
Yeah, which is totally fine. You can
I
just
hear you.
stick a pin in that, and if somebody uses it by end of session, we can do that. Just for going forward.
Fuck You're kind of benevolent.
So, Razira, you pull out these shredder claws. I like to picture them as the kind of claws you can buy on Amazon to make pulled pork with.
Right, where they're like, they look like bear claws.
Yeah, but they're metal.
Fucking forks.
And they're also metal as fuck.
Yeah. You pull them out and it goes shing.
Yeah. So Keelite, you bring the beam up to this creature's face. All right. As you do that, it begins to hiss loudly, almost like a screech, and the plumb bob, I guess, at the end of its
the dongle.
The dongle at the end of its central antennae begins to like vibrate. And
ew.
Razira, what are you doing?
If it's aggressive, then she's gonna charge at it because that's always been her thing.
Razira charges in.
Okay, you're on a single wide staircase.
Behind me.
We're essentially bottlenecked.
And you are not 2 feet tall.
Well, how tall up is the walls?
The walls are about 6 or 7 feet.
Damn.
And there is a creature on the roof, like above you guys.
On the ceiling.
Well, if it's on the ceiling, then I wonder, could she Jackie Chan her way up the walls? Just 1 foot on the wall, bouncing up?
Sure. Make a move roll.
Okay.
I will give Razira one of my drives.
Okay. So you can add an extra d6 to that.
Okay. A 6.
Damn.
Right. Yeah, you're able to kind of jump back and forth until you're able to reach the creature on the roof, and you slash them with your
strike, I guess.
Yep. Give me a strike.
How many would I roll? Because I have all 3 and the frickin'
Gilded?
Yeah.
So you're gonna roll 2 regular, 1 gilded.
Tank gonna tank.
4.
4? Okay.
Loving the tank is tiny.
Yep, you're able to dig one of the sets of pulled pork claws in, and you can feel for just a second this bit of resistance of the carapace, and then it sinks in with like this sickening sort of crunch and squelching noise, and it too shrieks like the one that Keelai blinded.
It's like lobster meat, right?
And you're gonna take a brain mark.
No. That ain't good. Razira hasn't got brain.
As its blood and essence and grossness follows the laws of gravity and falls on you. You can feel the second that it hits your skin. It doesn't burn. It's not like acidic or anything, but you feel it under your skin. You feel it on your bones, in your bones, as it begins to almost pull at the marrow like it's trying to suck it free.
Ew.
Ow.
It's irradiated. Pet the cats at Chernobyl.
You do have a soak. So if you would like to use the soak that Liz put in the party sheet accidentally, you can do that.
I say use the soak.
Yeah, I'm going to use that.
It's not going to roll over. Might as well.
All right. So you resist the brain bleed, or sorry, the brain mark.
Does this thing fall off the roof because she's just hanging on it now?
No, you're not hanging on it. You've just sort of like clawed it and like pulled into the carapace, and then it started like bleeding on you. You've pulled away, but you can feel it like on your face and down your arm where this disgusting ichor has kind of smeared that strange, deep sucking feeling that is not pleasant. It's painful. It's like somebody pushed something into the nerve and continues to grind it in place.
Ew.
That was not what they meant.
You two had 2 in move? Who has 1 in move?
Oh, I've got 2 in.
You've got 2 in move? Okay, Breeze, what are you doing?
Seeing that, I'm gonna try and get up the stairs and get past Keli.
Okay, how are you intending to do that? Because
I'm
not
gay.
only is Keli in front of you, the creature is in front of Keli. And presumably,
least,
from what you've heard, there might be other creatures beyond that.
Or at least like up to and like beside.
Can I like raise my arm up a little bit so they can strike underneath it?
Well, I'm not going to attempt to strike. I'm going to try to talk to it.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
What? Look, that was my first thought too. So.
So, you're just trying to get close enough to like make eye contact.
So that it can see me, I can see it.
Okay. Given how stairs are, you can see it above Keli's head, and it would be able to see you over Keli's head. Because you're on a slope, right? So it's here.
Yeah.
Keli is here. You're here.
Okay. And just... Why are you attacking it? Like... Do you remember us? We were friends with Mr. Van Richten. We used some of you guys to send messages, I think. If you're the same ones.
Make a sway roll.
Could use a 6 there, Breeze.
I got
To be fair,
3 sway.
Rizira
and
never met them.
Yeah. And I'm going to use a drive on this.
Okay.
A 1, 2, 3, and a 4.
Wow.
Oh, goodness. We have 2 extra drives in
we have
the
3
party right now.
Extra.
We have 3 drives.
Drive, you have to
use one of those
before you
do it
roll.
before.
Oh, you have to use it beforehand.
You
Okay.
can't do it after.
I used one of my actual ones.
So the
I figured
resistance
4
would
dice be
be more if I asked you to do what would have essentially been a saving throw.
Okay.
You would be able to re-roll something that failed.
Okay.
Since this isn't essentially a saving throw, you could use... I would let you use it if you wanted, but it's up to you.
If that's not, that's not the intention of the rule 4.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Okay, so with a 4, you're looking up at it over Keli's head. It's looking down at you over Keli's head. You can tell that a couple of the cells within its kind of egg-shaped eyes have been damaged by the sudden flash of the bullseye torch. Some of them have taken on like a milky quality almost, so you feel it's been, if not permanently blinded, at least temporarily in some of its ocular capabilities. It tips its head to the side as it looks at you, and its little dongle kind of like flicks against Keli as it does so. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling, Keli, because it almost has this splat feeling. And then it reforms.
Like those sticky rubber hand things.
Yeah. So it has, it's about the size of a big meatball.
Mm-hmm.
And when it splats against you, it like flattens and spreads out and then reforms and like falls away. So it just has that like 3 or 4 seconds where it's just on your skin and it's really uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt.
It's smelling you.
But it's uncomfy. One of the taloned claw legs, one of the ones it's not standing on, obviously, kind of like grabs your face, Keli, and pushes it to the side. So it's sort of like moving you out of the way.
Me scusi.
You can feel the talons digging into your cheek. Not enough to hurt, but definitely a threat.
Don't touch me with
when a cat stands on you.
A little bit more dangerous than that. It's sort of almost daring you to move in resistance to what it's trying to do to you. And as it's moving you, its upper body is like leaning forward. You can see the carapace slits kind of compressing, and the dongle begins to vibrate again as it reaches out to you, Breeze. And then it boops you right in the middle of the forehead. And for 1 second, it's like every single memory that you lost when Keli fucked up appears crashing into you. And then it's gone again. Then you hear in the back of your head, I remember you. I remember you. You gave treats. Do you have treats?
Buddy.
What kind of treats do you like?
Now I'm sad.
We stopped at the churro cart.
You get this feeling like it's taking in a deep breath, almost trying to remember. Cookies. Eat. I want meat.
I reach in my bag because I said I was taking some leftovers from breakfast.
Yeah, we totally stuffed our purses.
Pocket bacon.
Yeah.
Pocket bacon.
Pull out some pocket bacon and croissants and
okay,
breadsticks.
Yeah. And just
you hold it up.
Hold it up.
Right. As you're holding it up, you still have got this anglerfish meatball on your forehead. And its head is still doing like that weird kind of ticky thing that birds do when they're trying to look at something kind of in their periphery, but looking at it forward. The entire time, though, the meatball is completely stationary. And it reaches out with its free talon. The other one is still on Keli's cheek, just keeping them pushed to the side. They've pretty much like pushed your face into the wall. You are of no interest, but the claws are still there. Just a reminder that they are in control. And if you move, they will scratch you. So its other talons...
So, a bird.
A bird, yeah. Yes. The other talon kind of reaches out and snatches some of the pocket bacon. Brings it back to its face. But because it doesn't have the sort of wasp mandibles, you don't see like a mouth or anything. It scoops it up under its chin and like seems to shove it or pack it in there like a chipmunk.
No.
I need you to make me a... What am I going to say this is? We're going to go with sense. So sense roll.
Take a drive from the party sheet.
I'm going to use a drive from the party sheet, and I'm going to use one of my drive.
Okay.
Yeah, sense. 1, so I get 3. 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you're only going to take one brain instead of a brain and a body. As the meatball detaches, anybody who looks at Breeze's forehead, they've now got this kind of like...
hickey.
Yeah, essentially. But in the forehead hickey that they have, that is about 1.5 inches diameter, you can see that there are like 5 dig in things, so probably teeth of some sort.
Yep. Knew it! Called it! Sorry. I feel like this thing's name was Chiron or something.
That doesn't sound like me.
Boatman?
No.
No, that's not a goat. He was not a goat man. He was a centaur.
No, the boatman.
What?
Oh, no, not
the boatman's name was Chiron.
I forgot about that. I was talking about Greek mythology. Anyway,
No, Chiron was the centaur. Charon was the boatman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Sauron, something.
Anyways, I don't think that was the bird's name.
Something,
Anyway.
something I've never seen or read.
Edgar, whatever.
Something,
whatever.
something the jungle.
Yeah, couldn't recall. Wouldn't be able to tell you.
Athelstan has always for
Phil.
most of his life. Most of his life been able to Phil. Okay. Most of his life has been able to talk to animals, so he's definitely talked to these ravens before, so
You're at the back of the party.
I know, I'm right behind Breeze.
Nope. Atlas is in front of you.
Okay? Are you okay? What's going on up there?
It is a straight staircase, so you can see the kind of weirdness that has occurred from like the back. So you saw the meatball and the movement of Breeze's head.
Okay.
And you see Keeli kind of like smushed against the wall. But that's about all you get.
I'm okay.
Is there still the hissing and clicking, or is that kind of like stabilized?
It's still happening, and so that's Breeze's step in initiative.
Yeah.
Leaving Atlas and Athelstan. So
I have no move.
I have no move either. Do you want me to go first because I'm in front of you?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Atlas
just to reiterate, Atlas, Keeli is smushed up against the wall. Breeze just had a meatball on their forehead. Razira is sort of like dope monk shit above you, and there is currently a cockroach, wolfhound, raven, ichor.
Yeah.
Not dribbling, it is quite steady and viscous and goopy. If you've ever seen Alien, it's like that. And it's
lots
consistent.
of lube. Buckets of lube.
Buckets of lube.
Can I take one brain mark to ask the GM for an important occult detail that you would recognize from your studies, but have not yet been revealed in the scene? If there are none, clear the brain mark.
Nice. Look at you using mechanics.
Instead of none.
Get thee to a nunnery.
Yeah, there should be none. It's just missing an E. Okay. So, occult detail that you recognize from your studies. The creatures are clearly a hybrid form of something. The movement of Darkon into whatever this space is through the mists has corrupted whatever they were. Most likely what happened is the ravens were in their rookery because they are not technically sentient. They are not sold. It is likely they were mishmashed with whatever creatures were also in the rookery. Keeping in mind that it is a place filled with birdseed and shit, cockroaches are pretty common.
Oh no, it's Jeff Goldblum the Fly situation.
Oh no. I saw that movie as a kid by accident. That
Horrifying.
scene.
Horrifying.
Yeah, my dad fell asleep with the TV on and I saw that. I was afraid of trouble. You know how I reacted to seeing the fucking fly? It was not good.
Yeah. So, most likely, this is a corruption of having to move through the mists after they were being pulled back by the dark powers due to the lack of butt in the seat in Darkon.
So the ravens couldn't travel the mists when Alzalin wasn't there, but he wasn't there beforehand. But like, I guess that makes sense.
It could, but they lack the intelligence to escape.
Yeah,
to leave. So, like the people who lived in Darkon, who were either sold or husks, it didn't matter. If they didn't believe in the mists, in what they represented, what was beyond them, what was in them, they would not feel the need to try and escape them because
they weren't there. Basically, they were nuance.
Yeah, they didn't think to try and leave them, and whether it's the dark powers magic or just willful ignorance, you don't see a train coming at you until it is already past you.
FYI, the bird's name was Merlin. I just found my notes.
Okay, that sounds more like something
I knew it was like
name
some
it.
cliche ass name. Yeah, I was like, okay, it's got to be like either a wizard name,
It's Merlin.
Name, or like,
I just
or like
found my
Edgar Allan
notes.
Poe or something. Yeah, I love that guy.
I'm a cliche
Hell
bitch.
Yeah. I imagine Merlin from coming back from Bermuda.
Yes.
Yes.
You're not sure if this is Merlin or it could be Merlin and like 5 other ravens, like
Merlin and company.
That information you don't really know, so not totally sure. So Atlas, you can take that brain mark for that.
Okay. Is that my turn?
Yeah, that would be your turn.
I
So
say out loud, hey, because the ravens were not sentient, that they got mishmashed with some sort of creature during the crossover, most likely a cockroach because there's a lot of birdseed and poop. Also, I'm basically rehashing what the DM said. You see, like Atlas, he gets this look as information goes in his head from another plane.
It's like a teleprompter.
Good job on this ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, okay. It's like reading from a prompt. Yeah, relaying all this information out loud. He does he's still keeping his distance, but he does smoosh to the side so Athelstan can get past him.
Okay. So by smooshing to the side, you do avoid the lube dribble.
Yeah, Atlas doesn't want to be lubed.
Okay, you won't be lubed. Athelstan, what are you gonna do?
So the one that's in front of Breeze, there's no like animalistically speaking, aggressive posing. More like a just checking this thing out.
Give me a read roll.
Bird thing. A read?
A read.
I have 2 and a gilded dice in that.
So you've got 1 and a gilded dice.
No, there's 2 marks in it.
Yep.
Which
so
means
one of them is gilded. One of them is regular.
Oh, okay. 2 4s. What the fuck? What's up with the 2s and the 4s?
Okay.
4.
Given sort of everything that has occurred thus far, you are aware that it is most likely acting on instinct, food motivated, obviously. Not currently hostile, but that is just the one in front of you, not the one that is above you currently lubing all over the place. Yeah.
Okay.
What a sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Things
that's
I will never...
I loved reading that as a subtitle.
Things I did not expect to hear tonight during D&D. That was definitely not on my bingo card.
Never say never, ha!
I don't think that was on my like lifelong RPG bingo card.
But it's the most D&D ass
all over the
sentence
place.
I've ever heard in my life. It's like that scene.
I mean, I didn't expect the bowl full of lube in campaign 1 either, so
There's that,
you know.
Okay, so animalistically speaking, Athelstan may not be able to actually communicate with animals or beasts right now because I mean, he probably will try, but he's not hearing anything from them saying, so I'm assuming that he can't interpret what they're saying when they clicky and whatever the hell just happened here between the sticky meatball and Breeze's forehead. But being essentially a druid lock, and it's easier to be animalistic than to be human or whatever. I think that he has possibly been able to learn certain calls within the avian community, one of which I, Cedar, am familiar with, a sound that crows make when they went for the interpretation of safe, friend. Like,
give me a focus roll. We'll see how much you remember in your human form.
For you, anything. So I have 1 dot and a gilded die, so it's just the gilded die?
Yes. You also have drives and...
Yeah, that's true. I want to... can I spend one of the 2 drives in the party bank?
No. Yeah.
Okay, I'll make that note here. One of those, and I will spend one of my intuition drives. So that adds 2 dice?
Yep.
Oh, thank God. Okay, well... 2 1s and a 6.
Oh, God.
I saw the 1s first, and I was like...
Okay.
So... I hate my life. I actually almost peed.
I will say with a 6 in that you do recall a variety of bird sound that would allow you to accurately convey to a crow-esque creature, Raven-esque creature, that the space is safe. That you are safe. As you make that noise...
Was the 6 your gilded die?
No.
Okay.
I was the crow-like creature.
Oh God.
Ha! I thought you were gonna say a seagull. The flock of seagulls is back.
Jesus Christ, Shuri.
I have
you
come
just like
to
launch yourself on your desk.
I have come to warm.
There's a bird.
There's a plane. There's a cat. Here's Shuri.
Stop scaring your mama.
Okay, so you make this sound, and the one that's at the top of the stairs ahead of Keli, mushing Keli, meatballed Breeze briefly, it almost extends further to get a better look at you. So Breeze and Keli in particular, you can see this central abdomen thorax where the plates of its belly had sort of condensed in order for it to bend over Keli. They now extend, and you can see other ones kind of like shunting into place as it makes its body grow longer.
Oh,
that's cool, but also gross.
It's
gross as hell.
So below you, Razira, you can see the back of this creature, like the back of its head, the back of its thorax. It sort of comes close to you, Atlas, but it's looking past you at Athelstan.
Atlas is doing that Sigourney Weaver thing.
You've sort of like tucked yourself against one of the walls, but it too seems aware that if it were to get the ichor on itself, it may not go so well. So it is also sticking close
Bobbing
to
and
the
weaving.
other wall near you, Atlas. And you get this like just faint brush on like your cheek and your shoulder and your upper arm of feathers, but also that thin, like crusty membrane that's on the outside of like an exoskeleton. And you just feel that, and it's kind of like not nice, not a nice feeling.
Now I kind of feel bad because Razira's the only one that's actually attacked so far.
Well, to be fair, we also thought we were about to be attacked, so...
the
Also, the fact that
meatball.
every time she didn't immediately attack, she has been brain controlled.
That's true. She's
The
just...
meatball immediately launches at you, Athelstan. And we're going to say it like, it's not like a direct thing. It's sort of like a tether ball. It like hits you in the side of the face. Does that same thing where it kind of like squishes down and then bounces back on like your temple. And you hear, safe, safe, you're safe. You're safe, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. Vent, 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 vent.
Merlin, can you
Merlin?
let go of me now?
No, literally, Athelstan's just going to say out loud, Merlin?
Merlin. Merlin. That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me.
You're so big.
Big. And then Merlin starts making that same noise. It starts off really quietly, and then even the one that's on the ceiling starts making it, though a little bit more hesitantly. It begins to move up the staircase. You hear it echoing within the main floor of the tavern.
There was what, like 6 ravens the last time we were here?
It was a pretty big rookery. Seems pretty
That's a
big
lot.
for only 6 ravens.
There's always a lot of murder. A lot of... What are the... Well, actually, no, that's a murder of crows. Anyway, Athelstan will, like, kind of, like... I think the knife just kind of, like, just disappears into black and green smoke, and he holds out his hand. He's like, calm, Razira. Just calm. Calm. And he'll, like, repeat the kind of sound, and listen and, like, kind of hone in on Merlin here.
Okay.
What happened here? Are you okay?
Okay.
May I touch you?
Touching. And you feel like you have this meatball on your temple.
Yep.
And it kind of like shakes a little bit and vibrates, and you can feel it kind of like move around, and it moves enough of your like brow and your cheekbone, like the skin over it, that you're aware of it. Basically indicating that like you're already touching him.
Okay. Your carapace. Scritches?
Delicate, 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 delicate.
No touch?
No touch.
No more
No.
touch.
No.
Try
Not
not
safe.
to touch anybody. Try not to touch all the everybody. Don't touch them. Their carapace? Their carapaces are sensitive. Can we come out? Is it safe? Safe.
Safe. Safe. You said it safe.
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 It is safe.
And the meatball kind of drops away with this. So give me a sense roll.
a sense roll.
Mm-hmm. And I would also like to direct you to your roll's ability, just in case.
My sense roll?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, attune channel reveal. Right?
Yep.
Also, my roll. If I end up taking a bleed mark, I can also gain additional information about this phenomenon.
Yep.
I rolled a 3.
Okay. That is a failure, so you're going to take a brain and a bleed.
Ooh.
Okay. I've got 2 brain, y'all. Can I use a resist? Does that soak anything, or no?
The resist is more like it is
physical?
for saving throws. You can re-roll if you want to.
Okay. No, I'll leave that. That seems like that's important. We haven't even found the rift yet.
So with your let them in weird ability, you basically are able to confirm everything that Atlas has said, that it is some sort of mutation. At least 2 different species have been mashed together to create whatever this is. You know that it is not vegetarian. Obviously, it wants meat.
Mm-hmm.
The creatures are following their primal instincts. They're not hostile in the sense of they will hunt you down and track you down. They followed you because they are hungry. But they didn't outright attack you when they could have. It wasn't until you were literally in a condensed space that you essentially forced the interaction to happen.
Yeah.
They have very, very delicate carapaces in the sense that they can easily be crushed like you would crush an insect under your shoe. Beneath is just meat and ichor, essentially. Feathers. They are able to fly.
Yep. As Razira has noticed.
Yes. And there is not a stickiness so much as an ability to dig their talons into rock or wood or whatever so that they are able to essentially climb on a roof or on a ceiling like they are.
I can ask the GM a question about the source of the bleed. The source being the these guys, the ravens.
Yes, the source of these. Is that what you're asking?
It says I'm asking like is it like this? Ask a GM about a question about the source of the bleed.
Yeah.
And the source being them, right? I can't like just say like in a different bleed.
Them, yes, they are the result of the bleed. The source of the bleed, you feel, is probably in the rookery.
Okay. Home.
You're not connected anymore, so you don't get a response, but the thorax of this creature begins to condense again, and there is, for everybody who is below its body, you get this kind of whoosh as air is expelled as the panels begin to condense again. And then it's standing in front of you, Keli. It does remove its claws from your face. And it doesn't pat you exactly. It doesn't like pet you. It just sort of moves its talons into your hair and like scritches it about like a bird does when they're grooming.
When they're with their beak, yeah.
Yeah, but with their talons
Thanks,
instead.
Merlin. You're a rock star.
Merlin turns and you can still hear that safe call from the other creatures. as Merlin essentially leads you back up the stairs into the tap room.
Okay.
You see three others of these creatures, but you can hear more of them are outside. And that smell of pastry and cupcakes is much stronger now. That's where we're gonna end tonight's session.
I don't like that. What do you mean? Is Millie like a cupcake monster, like from Cuphead?
Millie is a cupcake monster.
Oh shit!
I don't like that, the cupcake monster thing. But I think, like, literally, I'm sorry, but Athelstan, like that, like that. Sure, it's absolutely an abomination, but
good boy.
Cool. That's cool.
That's a good boy.
Like the flexing of the carapace and everything. Like he's seen Thrycreen and everything like that, and like larger bug creatures and stuff like that. But like a conglomeration of feathers and insectoid shell. That's so cool. He was like just on the verge of saying it out loud, but he just thought it. Magnificent.
We're gonna go raid Kobold Curios. They are still up. I just double checked, so never mind. They said night.
Ha!
Oh wait, no. They're saying goodnight to somebody in chat. Right?
I don't know. Keep listening.
When you put it
Make a perspective. Actually, make an insight check.
A group of ravens is called an unkindness, by the way.
What's a group of cockroaches called?
I don't know that I want to know the answer to that.
I'll Google it. I don't mind that being in my history check.
Anyway,
I love insects.
We'll see you later. Don't forget to check out either Cedar on DM Jeremy's channel tomorrow at 8 or Maggie over on the Liching Hour at 9. Either Into the Weird West, which is a Deadlands game, or Viva La Dungeon, which is a semi-D&D
board game,
but definitely very much streamlined one-page RPG style. So
you can put us both on.
Stick around stick around for the raid, and we'll see you when we see you.
Also, you're